The long slant of the shadow on the sundial told Roscoe that evening was on its way. But the air that he breathed and whispered through whiskers said the evening had other plans. Usually, by this time of day, the warmth would begin to slip away, quietly, politely, closing the gate on its way out. It would make room for a cooler breeze that you could feel in your nose, one that led you indoors. But this evening lingered. The warmth stayed put, resting on Roscoe's fur as sunshine eyed down, soft to the touch. He paused, one paw on the handle of the back door. "How pleasant," he said to no one in particular. From the garden came low, familiar sounds. Lolloping bees hummed as they finished their rounds, and there was the faint rustle of leaves shifting by the hedge. Had their prickly visitor come back snuffling for fallen apples? Roscoe wondered. The sky above the hedge was beginning to change, from blue to gentle pinks and lemon yellow, a blush of peach and a streak of crimson here and there. Behind him, inside the cottage, there was the usual a-doing of. Not hurried, not noisy, just purposeful. "It still feels like daytime," said Millie Moonbeam, peering out of the window. "It does," Berry added. "It hasn't quite finished what it was doing." Caratina sniffed the air and smiled. "Too warm for butterbean stew," she said thoughtfully. "But just right for sticks of celery, yogurt dips, and fresh green grapes, the ones with a crunch but no pips. Nice and cool and perfect for sharing." Floyd, who had been sitting at the kitchen table playing with his wooden blocks, stood up and looked from the cottage to the garden, then back again. "It feels like a garden evening," he said. No one disagreed. The decision seemed to make itself. Without any further discussion, everyone began to drift, not away from one another, but outward, into small gentle tasks that felt like they belonged to the moment. Roscoe stepped back outside, leaving the door open this time. Floyd went first to the wooden table that usually lived near the fence. He placed both paws on its edge and tested the ground beneath it, moving it an inch to the left, then back again, until all four legs sat just right on the grass. There was nothing worse than a table that wobbled and toppled a full glass of juice. "There," he said. "That'll do." Caratina appeared beside him with a basket over her arm. Inside were plates, some striped blue and white, others with patterns and swirls. She had a stack of cream cotton napkins that were loosely folded into triangles that flopped and flapped in the breeze. "These won't mind being outdoors," she said. "They're the sort that like fresh air." Berry followed with a jug of elderflower cordial, beaded with cool droplets, and a handful of glasses that clinked softly as they touched. He set them down carefully, along with the curly straws, and could already imagine how they'd twinkle in the lantern light. Millie Moonbeam lingered near the apple tree, looking up. "The branches are low enough," she said, "and they're sturdy enough to hang things from." Roscoe fetched the lanterns from the shed, the old ones, with slightly cloudy glass and brass hooks that had dulled with years of use. Together, he and Millie Moonbeam lifted them slowly, looping them over branches, stepping back often to see how the light would fall once it arrived. "Not too many," Millie Moonbeam said, "just enough to light the way and cast a cosy glow." The garden began to change. Not quickly, not all at once, but piece by piece. It shifted from a place that had welcomed play during the day into a place that was inviting the evening to stay and share the moment with the bunnies. The table stood ready for its guests, its surface soaking up the last warmth of the sun. Napkins fluttered like wings, then settled. Glasses waited. Cushions appeared, one by one, some with tassels, others plump, and one that was velvety green. Roscoe noticed how no one asked what came next. They simply noticed what was missing and quietly fetched it. As the sun dipped lower, Caratina brought out a bowl of salad, topped with slices of tomato, strips of cucumber and herbs that still smelled fresh, with a hint of aniseed. Berry set down a plate of sliced bread brought from Nash's bakery that morning, its crust warm and cracked invitingly. Floyd adjusted the lanterns one final time, turning one so its light softened the edge of the hedge by the rickety gate. Roscoe stood back and took it in. The garden glimmered and glowed. Perfect. Shadows stretched lazily across the grass. Somewhere nearby, a cricket tested out its evening song. A moth fluttered by the apple tree on powdery, delicate grey wings. When the garden was ready, everyone found a place, not assigned, just chosen. The bunnies ate slowly. Not much was said. Every now and then someone reached for the bread or poured a little more elderflower cordial from the jug, or adjusted a cushion beneath them. The warmth finally began to ease, but no one minded. "This was a good idea," Berry said quietly after a while. "Yes," said Millie Moonbeam. "It feels like the day wanted to fade and not turn off like a light." Roscoe leaned back, paws resting on his tumblington, and looked up through the branches of the apple tree. The lantern light caught on the leaves, turning them silver at the edges. Some days, he thought, want to be seen from above. Some want to be tended with care. Some want to be left where others can find them. And some, like this one, want to be carried gently into the evening just as they are. When the plates were dotted with crumbs and the glasses empty again, no one rushed to clear them away. The garden held everything easily. The cottage, just beyond, waited with its door open, untroubled and ready whenever it might be needed. Eventually, one by one, the lanterns were dimmed. Cushions were gathered. The table stayed where it was, perfectly content to remain outdoors until morning. As they drifted inside, the garden settled behind them, warm and quietly pleased. Later still, Roscoe lay in bed, listening to the soft night sounds drifting through the open window. The air had finally cooled. The day had let go. Outside, the lantern hooks swayed gently. Inside, the cottage breathed slow and steady. All was snug. All was well. Night, night.